Hey y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Born Upon Death is Queen. I am Naomi, and today I'm excited to share with you the best holiday cookie. It's the sugar cookie. This cookie is always the centerpiece cookie for any occasion because it allows your imagination to flow while tasting great. Another thing about this recipe is it keeps form, texture, and taste no matter your choice of cookie cutter. I'm sure that this recipe will be in your family's repertoire for many years to come. I hope you enjoyed this 5th video enough to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you like lessons like these, subscribe to my channel. Let's go. All right, y'all, let's go over all the tools and ingredients that we'll need to accomplish the perfect sugar cookie for the holidays. 3 cups of all-purpose flour, a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of shortening, 1 cup of powdered sugar, an additional half a cup of powdered sugar, 2 room temperature eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 tablespoons of water, some parchment paper, and a rolling pin for when we roll out the dough. Also, your cookie cutters of choice. And this is just something a little fancy to scrape up the cookies, but a butter knife will work just as fine. All right, y'all, let's start baking. All right, let's add in our shortening. Start creaming it. Once we got that creamy, we're gonna add in our water. Once that's added in good, turn off your mixer. Add in your sugar. Start that on low, or you're gonna get a sugar facial. Not a good one. Once it's mixed up mostly, turn it up. Then you want to scrape. Once you scraped it down, you want to add your eggs in one at a time. Make sure it's thoroughly incorporated before you add the second one. Add in your 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Add in about half of your flour. Mix. That's good. Scrape your bowl. When you scrape your bowl, you want to make sure you get in that bottom. Because that little center area, sometimes when you dump out your dough, you'll see, oh, I forgot something. You be like, that flour? Then you trying to hand mix it all in. All right. Add in the remainder of your flour. See how it done came together? It's like one big ball. That's what you want. This dough is very soft. And get all that dough off your paddle attachment. Use your attachment to get it off your spatula too. Well, in my case, spoonchula. See, I was talking about that little, the dip in the dough. This is perfect. All right, so make sure your oven is preheated to 400 degrees. Take your parchment, lay it flat. And dump out your dough. Like that. Perfect. Now, you want to work with this dough in half portions. I find it works easier. You put it in a nice ball. Shape it into a nice ball. Get it as even as you can. Then you're going to divide it right down the middle. Okay? The other half, set it to the side. If you don't plan on cooking both sections right now, this dough freezes easily. Like, it's perfect. So get your freezer bag, label it with the date and what's in it. Take that dough, make it into a disc. All right, you're gonna shape it into a nice disc, just like that. Take some cling wrap. And just wrap the dough. So I fold one side, fold it over. Nice and flat. You have your disc. Place your dough in the bag. Put this in the freezer. Use it within 3 months. The holidays is coming up. You're going to use this dough. It's always nice to have some on hand. So for the dough that you are going to be rolling out, this is where that 1/2 cup of powdered sugar comes in at. So because the next holiday is, of course, here in America, it's Thanksgiving. So I have a leaf, like a regular fall leaf and a maple leaf. And I'm also using an apple cutter. I think that'd be perfect. Powdered sugar is very clunky. Like, it's very clunky. So when I'm doing it, I lay it out, I pinch it like that in my hand to get it flat. And you're gonna roll this dough out to your desired thickness. Okay, this is what this heavy thing comes in for. You want to use powdered sugar. It will not dry out your cookie at all. This dough is so pliable. If you don't have no rolling pin, no stress. You can press this out with your hand. It's very forgiving. So all right. Take some powdered sugar. So you're gonna dust your cookie cutter with powdered sugar. Press down. I give it a little wiggle. Pull up. You want to shape out as many cookies as you can. But like I said before, this dough is very forgiving. We're going to roll this back up. Because that part is so elongated. All right. So now you got your cookies cut out, right? This is where this comes in at. If you do not have this, I'm gonna show you. Dust it with the powdered sugar. And just gently remove the scraps. Okay. Just like that. These cookies really don't spread out during the baking process. They keep their shape. It took many trial and errors for me to get this recipe. And like most people, I was using flour for dusting. You don't do that with sugar cookies. That dries out your cookie. It also cracks your cookie greatly. You do not want to do that. All right, you got your cookies out. Let's put them in the oven. When you put your cookies in the oven, you're going to reduce the temperature down to 350 degrees. So we went from 400 degrees to 350 degrees, and you're gonna check on these cookies in 5 minutes. All right. All right, so we got the scraps of dough. Take that dough, form another ball. Lightly dust your area. And we're gonna do the same as before. Rolling the dough out, like I said, the level of thickness is personal preference. So if you want a thin sugar cookie, make a thin sugar cookie. I strongly recommend, like this is like a 1/4 of an inch thickness. So a 1/4 of an inch thickness, I think makes the perfect cookie as a starter point. You want them to have the same even thickness. That way they cook the same. Okay? Pull that dough right up. So and these are going in. Okay, so what you do to check for doneness, you want to make sure it's browning. So I'm going to put them back in for another minute. All right. So you see there's a cooling rack. I leave my cookies on the cooling rack for 5 minutes. All right, second batch goes in. So another tell sign for how you know your cookies is done, take you a spatula. I bake mine for 6 minutes. If your cookies, I'm not even like applying a lot, if they move easily, they're done. Pick it up, look at the bottom. Y'all see that? Golden. And they kept their shape. These are the perfect sugar cookies, you guys. I learned through trial and error. For many years, I was making the wrong kind of cookies. They either was coming out perfect shape, but nasty taste and hard as a brick. Or they were like too soft and not keeping shape, but taste really good. This is the perfect recipe. All right, so it's been 5 minutes for these cookies. So what I'm gonna do is move them onto a cooling rack. So for all my galletas, I do a 2-step cooling process. They cool here, they cool here. Like I do a 2-step cooling process. Now say you wanted to freeze these cookies. The best way to freeze your cookies, line it with parchment paper onto this cooling rack. Stick it in your oven for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you're gonna take those cookies and put them in the freezer safe bag. I put mine in a gallon storage bag. They keep in your freezer for 3 months. They're perfect, okay? I actually have not had to keep mine for 3 months in the freezer. They don't last that long in my house. So our second batch is done. Let them cool on a rack for 5 minutes. I actually set the marker for 5 minutes. So, like I said, if you want to freeze these, this is the step you'd actually freeze them at. So 5 minutes on here, 5 minutes on here. Then you stick them in the freezer. This is the last of the cookies. So, do a little dusting. This dough is it's not sticky, it's soft. Now for an apple, with the detail of the leaf, you want to be a little tedious with it so you don't rip it. All it takes is just a little patience, that's all. Yes, I make cookies until there's no more dough. Like I said, this dough is very forgiving. It's the perfect sugar cookie dough. So these are done. Now, if you're gonna decorate these, they are ready to be decorated. They are perfect. Something like this, you don't like it, just break it off. How it's like not the perfect shape. If you're that big of a perfectionist, that's what you could do. See how it's golden brown on the back? You guys, and they keep their shape. They feel hard on the outside. They are very soft on the inside. Very soft. So these ones, spend 5 minutes, move them to here. Allow them to cool here for 5 minutes. They are the perfect shape. You see that? Let's add a third. See that? Perfect shape, you guys. I failed a gazillion times, so you don't have to. All right, y'all, here's our finished product. 18 cookies. Perfect. They're perfectly shaped. Like, perfect. All right? My lining up of them is not perfect, but y'all can see these cookies is perfect. All right? I failed thousands of times, so you don't have to. This is the cookie you've been looking for. Trust me on this. It tastes really good, too. And then that dough, we wrapped half of it. So you got 19 cookies out of here. So I say you get between 18 to 40 cookies, depending on your cookie shape, because your cookie shape plays a big part. So whatever shape that you pick depends on the amount that you're going to get. All right. Now I have cookie dough left over from Halloween, and I have it just marked Halloween. When it is frozen, take the dough out. Sit it out on your countertop for half an hour. It should come to room temperature. If it's still not room temperature, just check on it every 15 minutes. Once you bring it to room temperature, go ahead and shape your dough, make your dough. This dough lasts for 3 months, okay? So, if you want to up the sugar, up the sugar. It's very soft. Because generally what you do to these cookies, you decorate with icing. This cookie hit. I'll smash all these cookies if I wasn't married. Who am I kidding? I have smashed the whole batch of cookies. They're really good. They're not too sweet. If you want to up the sweet, up it. The sugar in it, but keep in mind, you're going to put icing on top of these cookies. It's the perfect balance. All right, I want to thank y'all for watching my video. I want you to know I do appreciate your time. And y'all enjoy y'all day, okay? Bye.